Well, then let's have that scene as you guys are within probably, I'd say, a mile of the gates. You guys can have a chat as you trudge.
Because Nicolau, you were responsible with carrying the dead body on that
travel. Yeah,
yeah. So Sai just kind of slows his pace to like get into step with you, and he's looking down, kind of like nervous a little bit, and he's like, "Hey,
Nicolau, can I talk real quick?"
Certainly, little one.
I just
questions?
Well, a couple questions, but first I just want to say I called you Cowman, and that's not right. I wouldn't like being called ankle biter or Grofkin, so I just want to say I'm sorry.
Oh, well, it's very nice of you to say. I pay it no mind. I paid it none, but thank you.
I appreciate it. The other thing is, I noticed that you were getting upset about, no one likes seeing when people perish, but it's a natural cycle of life, and I just wanted to, just make sure that though other people and cultures have different ways of dealing with it, I just want to make sure that you're okay.
Oh, I understand that, life is tenuous and life ends, and that's fine. I did not want to see this one, and I motion to the corpse I'm carrying. I just didn't want to see him fall prey to creeping claws and beasts of the night and who knows what else might be dwelling in there. I did not want to see him abandoned. That's all. Everyone deserves rest and peace when it's over, and not to be succumb to horrors beyond our imagine.
Indeed, I too am one who respects life and death, and when the soul transitions, I believe in Mother Nature, the cycling, and with that there can be extra use with the material components of one's body. Just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
And I just you seem very freaked out about that, and if my beliefs are going to freak you out, I just want you to know that it's not in a malicious or evil way. My people have been labeled many times as evildoers.
Would your people do that to creatures who walk and talk and use language and worship gods? And
typically, no. But the evil ones, of course, they don't care about that. From what I was taught by Master, we try to recycle those that we can understand that have passed on completely.
How tall is your character?
He's about just shy of 3.5 feet. He's just that small, so he's a goblin.
So he'll reach down his semi-beefy hand, and either if it's, I don't know whether a shoulder or a head, but he'll just, tap it.
Patting it there.
Then I think you and I are in agreement, my little friend.
Well, thank you.
And he pats back the top of your hand, and he casts guidance on you to get to the rest of the way.
Delightful.
And Una has been sort of listening in on this conversation. If you turn to look at her, she starts sort of drifting a little bit closer, and then Sai mentions evil creatures, and she sort of drifts back away.
This is relevant to my interest. Never mind. In interacting with your NPC fellow travelers, you did pick up 2 side quests. We're going to use index cards to track them. Here, you may. Do you want to read them out loud for the audio, please?
Sure.
Would you like to share with the class, Benjamin?
I will. Bring Adazar's shield to his brother's resting place in Lonely Wood. Bring Dazan his research in East Haven. That would be what Zhao is carrying.
Yes. As a reminder...
We also had the ashes of
Yeah, I also grabbed the
Amazon.
ashes. Cause
Okay, yeah, I remember you had the shield. I didn't remember if you brought his remains. Yeah, you burned Adazar. That's right. So we'll that can be amended to say remains. But yeah, Adazar was your half-orc guard companion that ended up getting ate up.
Frozen.
Frozen frost breath. Frost breath. That is actually what killed him. And he was going to lay his brother's remains to rest in Lonelywood. His brother was a lumberjack in Lonelywood. And Zhao, the wizard's apprentice, had done some research on the Netherese Empire and their flying cities, a empire of mages that existed thousands of years ago, which you found some hints at inside the cave. There was some bas-relief carvings of flying cities of the Netherese Empire. And he was bringing his research that he had done to his master, who he said his name was Dazan, and he was meeting him in East Haven. So you have some side quests there that you follow up on at some point. But after you have your little social interaction with each other, getting to know each other, on your way to the gates of Bryn Shander, you see that the gates stand open. However, there is a guard presence on the ground level outside. These are 30-foot stockade walls with 15-foot gates built into them. Picture a row of sharpened 30-foot poles, tree trunks, really, backfilled with like 10 feet worth of dirt, and then another ring of similar tall poles on the other side to form these very thick walls. Those of you who played Storm King's Thunder might remember you defended Bryn Shander in that campaign against an attack of giants that would have happened about 5 years ago in game. Normally, the gates stand open. Visitors are welcome to come and go. It's not really a closed gate situation unless they're under attack. And the gates are still open. However, there is a guard presence on the outside. And as you get closer to the gates, it's easy to sort of start to understand why, as a frost giant, a female frost giant, is sitting sort of crisscross applesauce on the ground outside of the gate. Next to her is what looks like it would be about a 10-foot structure shaped to be like a six-pointed snowflake made out of wood that has been set into the snow outside of the gate. And she is sitting there peacefully, although the guards are, understandably a little bit wary. And I have a picture of this frost giant.
She looks pissed.
So what is this snowflake shape? Can you repeat?
Yes, it is a wooden structure. You're not sure at its purpose. Okay. It's about 10 feet tall, maybe 8 to 10 feet tall, constructed entirely out of wood. And it is shaped like a six-pointed snowflake, and it's sort of set with the bottom 2 points as sort of like legs, just set into the snow. You would have to get closer to maybe ascertain a purpose.
From our distance, it's like an art piece. Is kind of what
it does. It does kind of look like a sculpture or a statue or something like that. She does look very pissed in this picture. She is not that pissed as you're speaking to her now. Or as you are seeing her now, she's just sort of sat in the snow.
Like blocking the gate, or just sort of
off the path away.
Hanging out. Sounds like she's just not being let in right away.
And that's exactly what you're sort of getting, is that the guards don't necessarily want her there, but she's not putting up a fuss about getting in. She's just sort of sitting there being observed. And you are maybe, we'll say, 100, 150 feet away from the gate. How would you like to approach this situation?
I would like to be up in front with the torch. Plain sight.
All right. Nicola?
Do any of you speak giant?
I do.
Oh, okay.
How's Una reacting to all this?
Una is sort of hanging back and, very warily looking at the guards and kind of, in that 14-year-old girl way, definitely moving forward, but kind of almost like someone's pushing her towards Bryn Shander. She really does not want to go into the town. Gotcha.
And, Sai, how do you feel about all this?
Sai is... He knows ogre, but this is probably what he would say is the biggest ogre he's ever seen.
Understandable. Of note, as a goblin, you are allowed to come and go freely. They do not discriminate based on the fact that you're a goblin. You're not stopped at the gate or anything. You've come and done business here before.
Right in the middle of the trail, just...
Thankfully, it freezes almost immediately.
That's how
so
goblins
it just-
fucking do it. That's why they call it gobblestone.
That's some lore I wasn't aware of. So as you approach the gate, one of the guards that's keeping an eye on this frost giant is a red-headed female dwarf who's, got her guard badge pinned to a furry overcoat, and she turns and starts to approach you as you start to make your way up the path and waves you over, and that's her. And she'll greet you and say, "I'm sorry, fellow travelers. You're going to have to wait outside the gate a bit. We've got a crowd we've got to move through, and then once they have cleared the gate, we'll let you through."
Is there some problem going on?
No, there's a religious party that we're escorting from the gates. They draw a bit of a crowd, and we just don't want anybody to get hurt.
Does it have to do with your wayward traveler over there?
Yes, that's one of them. She's not allowed in the city. She understands.
Understood.
It should only be a few minutes. I see the lights have gone out, so they must be on their way.
Do you require any assistance with communication?
Oh, you mean with the big one?
Yes.
Oh no, she speaks common.
Oh.
She understands. She's not a problem. She understands that we have a rule against frost giants inside the city. Even the best meaning ones can accidentally knock over a building. You know how it can be.
Very true.
Would anybody like to say anything to her?
Will she be fine sitting out there like this? She's sort of sitting out in the cold.
Oh, they don't. Their kind doesn't feel the cold.
Oh,
Yes, she's a frost giant.
how very fortunate.
They're raised to embrace this sort of brisk sort of environment. They even sail the sea of moving ice. Go swimming in it. Yes. Anybody else like to speak to? She introduces herself, by the way. It's Ogric. Ogric Brighthelm.
He's bright hell.
What is this? So what is this religious party? Are they worshippers of some?
They call themselves the Children of Auril, the Frost Maiden.
Oh.
And ever since the everlasting rime has visited itself upon our 10 towns, they've come demanding sacrifices to their goddess to appease us. Or appease her, rather.
As soon as she says that, Una... Which one of you is taller?
Probably. Well, I'm about 6.
Which one of you is a baller?
I'm probably only about 5'9".
Yeah, so she's gonna sort of step behind Nicolau.
Okay. What kind of sacrifices? It's a troubling word.
Yeah, it's completely understandable. They demand human sacrifices, or humanoid sacrifices. So far, the speaker has shot them down at every chance she's gotten. No taste for it, and I greatly agree. Judging by the fact that the lights are out, we will be in keeping with our usual tradition. No fires for warmth on the new moon. We sacrifice warmth to the goddess as opposed to life, which it makes for no minor inconvenience. But usually the common rooms at all the inns are free, so that we can all gather in one place and stay warm. Good for the innkeepers, and better for the people that aren't getting sacrificed.
Do these children of Auril accept that?
It is a traditional sacrifice, but they are becoming more insistent as this everlasting night overstays its welcome. Some of the towns have already started sacrificing people.
I guess I'll turn to Kus? Kus. I'll turn to Kus and say,
Kus.
shall we just... Are we comfortable staying? Should we get him in? I'm trying to keep this under my breath as I talk.
He says, on matter of comfort, I would defer to your decision-making. I do believe that we're safe here to wait it out in front of the gates. I don't believe harm will come to us within eyesight of the guards.
I'm just, and I will kind of make a gesture to, somebody who's hiding behind me. I'll say, I'm not sure some of us are comfortable staying outside. We should probably find some better shelter inside, but I'm not sure I'm comfortable with these children. Pilgrims, perhaps I should call them.
Kus will say, well, our options are going to be finding shelter in Bryn Shandar or getting back on the road for several days. And after the events of the last 40 hours, I would very strongly caution you to select Bryn Shandar as your next destination.
It's about this point during your conversation that two figures. There's not a big crowd gathered around. There's not a lot of people coming and going Bryn Shandar these days. But there are a few stragglers, hangers about that, just were caught outside the walls and now they're in like a traffic jam. Think of like a funeral procession where they stop traffic to let everybody through. This is kind of where you're at. And you see two figures. One of them is wearing a white furred cloak over black plate mail armor with two swords belted at his hips. The other one is a very gaunt dragonborn. Tough to tell gender with all the clothes on, but has the trappings of a spellcaster. There's a book and a staff, the sort of things you'd expect to see a spellcaster with. And this male in the plate mail, he's got a very dark complexion, long white dreadlocks, and he approaches Pavu, and sort of gives like a little, kind of a martial arts style bow and says Shadow Fist. And Pavu excuses himself politely from the party, and they have a brief interaction. And you sort of can see by the body language, it's a dressing down. Pavu is getting the, kind of...
It's a reprimand?
Yes.
Wow. Rude.
And
your dress kicked by a wolf, Shadow Fist.
Yeah. You got Shadow Fisted. And after this dressing down, Pavu goes back to the party and says, my friends, please, if you will, when your business in Bryn Shandar is done, meet me in Targos. I have to return. I have duties to attend to, but when you are done here, maybe a few days, you come find me in Targos. There will be work for us.
Meet me in Targos. I have to return this knife set that I was given for...
Not Target. Not Target.
Okay.
Targos is Target in Rome. We're not in Rome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Targos is the plural of Target.
I do want to see if I can slip away from the party for a second to talk to this giant. If they're all by themselves. And I will approach out in the open. I want to be visible. Mm-hmm. And I'll keep the torch up at eye level so that my face is visible. Mm-hmm. And I will issue a greeting in giant.
And she will respond in kind. I'm not sure what the traditional frost giant greetings would be.
Get fucked!
Yeah. Thank you for not setting me on fire. And she will regard you with a keen eye and say, you look like one who is friendly with the Northlings, yes?
Indeed, I have made travels up there on many occasions. Forgive my accent. I was taught the language by stone giants.
Ah, yes, the dreamers under the earth. They are good people, although they have weird ideals.
They seemed convinced that I didn't truly exist.
They believe that nothing above the ground exists, and it is all a dream. I can't prove them wrong, and that troubles me deeply. But I don't believe that is so. Are you a worshipper of Auril?
I am a worshipper of the natures of the mountains, but I understand that you're here with is it a delegation of a type?
We are some like-minded individuals who have determined through study and prophecy that this darkness and this everlasting winter is the doing of the Frost Maiden, and that if we are to survive it, we must turn our worship and our adoration to her, and to sacrifice before her. The 10 Towns perhaps has grown too strong and too populous, and this will anger the Frost Maiden. She likes things to be in frozen beauty.
Yes, I have actually heard similar musings from the spirits as well. So perhaps we are like-minded. Is this, and I gesture to the construct, an affectation of your worship, or is this merely art?
This is an affectation of my worship. This is, it is a gift from the children of Auril to the people of Bryn Shander that they might realize their place in Auril's winter. And she gestures to it, and you can see now that the two of the arms of the snowflake and the two that make up the legs have shackles chained to them. It is at this altar that they would make their sacrifice.
And what kind of sacrifice? I understand that it's of humanoid nature. What frequency?
Every new moon until the Frost Maiden is appeased.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can't say that I share the same sentiment or ideology, but I certainly can understand and empathize with where your kind are coming from. It is unfortunate that they keep you outside of the gates.
It is an understandable safety precaution on their parts. It was not so long ago that many that looked like me came to this gate not wishing to save these people, but to harm them, to destroy them and take what they had. It is unfortunately the way of many of my people. And for their sins, I repent.
Well, very good. I must rejoin my party. I'm sure we'll be getting through the gates ourselves soon, but it's been a pleasure to speak with you. I didn't catch your name.
That's probably Josh. My name is Yvette. Yvette Heldren's daughter.
Yvette.
It's E-V-I-G-T. Ha, gotcha.
I'm going to write it phonetically. What was the last name?
Heldren, H-E-L-D-R-U-N-S, daughter, D-O-T-T-I-R. As Kuspalad finishes conversing with Yvette, Heldren's daughter, the frost giantess, you turn around and Zev appears and says, "Hi, I'm still here."
Gross, push him down.
Okay. And we're outside of the city still?
You are outside the gates, although you can hear, sort of voices and footsteps crunching through the snow. It appears that whatever you're being held up for is getting close to exiting. If you'd like to interact with any of the set pieces before we move on, you may.
Do we know how long that Yvette has been here?
She did not say. If you'd like to ask her, you may find out. Or you could ask the guards, the same thing.
Well, she seems more at home here than the others. But I don't yet speak giant, so I will ask the guards.
She speaks common.
You may speak to her in common. She speaks common if you wish.
It won't be as big a flex as me talking to her in giant.
Yes. Kuspalad speaks giant, so he wanted to go get his giant
Yeah,
on.
but you speak shitty stone giant.
I do speak
giant.
shitty stone giant giant. Yeah.
Okay, and so
So to sound like a stoner,
I
probably
appreciate
like a
y'all
Valley
catching me
giant.
up. This is very in medias res. I may just have to follow along to get the
That's
things
fine.
moving, but
We can backtrack too if you think of something you want to say. We can do a little
no,
DeLorean
if we're
style
being held
talk.
up outside, and it seems to be due to this ice giantess.
Not so much her, but her group. Her group is on the inside of the city being escorted out. She just wasn't allowed in because she is
other
a
frost
Oh, these
giants?
people are leaving the
They are
city.
not.
Yeah, they
They're-
went
they're
in,
just
under-
they did
okay.
their stuff. They're
They-
leaving it.
Okay.
You will see if you wait around long enough. It is the children of Auril, as they call themselves, are made up of the gamut: orcs, elves, humans, halflings.
Okay.
And, Una is currently hiding behind Nicolau.
Yes.
Somebody mentioned the word human sacrifice, and that's not something any of us took lightly. Not
All right.
necessarily the word human, but they said sacrifice.
Humanoid.
Yeah, humanoid.
It set off some radar, alarms.
I think Zev would like to talk with the giantess while we're waiting for this kerfuffle to end.
Absolutely.
Not that I need to bow to something so big, but I will all the same. And plus, it is a female, so Zev immediately appreciates that. And she would say, and I'll try to speak up for the mic this time, by the way.
I got the gain up a little bit too. So
I appreciate you giving me gains, bro. So, after a bow, greetings, mighty giantess. I understand you are seeking sacrifices.
It is true. The people of Bryn Shander sacrifice warmth instead of life, and life is what's called for these days.
What manner of sacrifices are you seeking?
That of a humanoid to give their beating heart and their life essence to Auril.
Is there a specific type of humanoid required or preferred by the goddess?
The goddess would appreciate any sacrifice. She does not discriminate.
How has been your reception so far with these humans?
It is understandable that they have been reluctant. It is not a practice that anybody is eager to take on. But as this everlasting rhyme has taken hold and has shown no signs of abating, people are starting to understand why we are being so severe with our demands for sacrifice.
That's a rap name, by the way. Everlasting Rhyme.
Some of the townsfolk in the 10 towns have adopted the practice. And indeed, they report finding the wintry conditions around their cities somewhat lessened. And I believe that in communing with the goddess, that if all show such reverence to her mighty power, that perhaps this winter will be lessened and even relieved. And the sun may be allowed to shine once again on Icewind Dale.
As she is talking, may I flex my history muscles to see what I might recall that be relevant about frost giants?
Yes, you may.
Cool. And also, Paul, may I use your tray?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Is it a 1?
He cursed himself
Damn it,
by using
Paul.
my tray.
Yeah, I walked right into that one.
Frost giants are traditionally very short.
Yeah.
They like fire.
Naturally. Okay, cool.
They make noise in the North Pole. Yes.
So no specific details about them in particular at this time. All right, cool.
No,
Great.
not your area of expertise, apparently.
But I am expertise in history.
Not this history.
Hate it. Okay, so anyway, she will be asking this question anyway.
All right.
And what brings you on this diplomatic mission? In other words, what brings you to care so much for those, well, in a lesser position as yourself?
It is a missionary position that I hold. This land is akin to the homeland of the goddess, and it is her who holds sway here. She would want more followers. She would want more power in her chosen realm. Yet the people of 10 towns choose to worship gods of summer and sun and life. This is not the way for Icewind Dale.
I see. And what do you hope to achieve, then? Conversion of the populace?
Yes, very much.
My culture also makes sacrifice to a goddess, and it has served us very well. Thank you, Evite. Well, of course, I skipped the introductions part, but...
You would have, you would have gotten that.
Let's assume the pleasantries were made. Thank you, Evite, for talking with me. I will do my best to help them see reason, if possible. I imagine, do you have forces in waiting for them, should they fail to convert?
Ours is a peaceful mission for now. The goddess flexes her own might here. We need not raise arms. The cold will make believers of them one way or another.
Indeed. Your patience is appreciated with the smaller folk.
It is not often I get to converse with people who are so friendly and accepting of the message. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Give another swift bow and return to the group.
We were the right people for that job, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, who's up with the human sacrifices, Jesus.
Yeah, hey, you didn't think that's where the campaign was going. But...
Anybody else want to do anything while we're here, or are we moving on?
Do we have any people we could sacrifice? We have this child.
I have a plan.
I just, if you, okay, so human sacrifice is human sacrifice, right? But if you sacrifice a minotaur, is it a big macrifice?
Are you slathering him with special sauce first, or?
Yeah.
You can take inspiration, because I don't have a yoga to hear you.
Terrible.
I already have inspiration.
Oh, well then you get nothing.
Yeah, that was awful.
But
the real inspiration is the
The groans.
the jokes that we made along the way.
So, wrapping up your... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if anybody else had anything, but Nicola does want to ask the guard. Excuse me, is there a temple or a somewhere within the confines of the city that I may visit, if you may see? And I point to the travel I'm carrying. And we have lost a comrade, and I would like to see that he be given a sanctified repose, as it were.
And she sees that you're carrying, you had like a litter or something you were carrying the body on, and she'll make a swift kind of, whatever, religious symbol, and she may say, oh, the damn mountains take a lot of lives these days. I'm so sorry to hear about the loss of your companion. We do have 2 large, temples here, of worship. Do you know what he worshipped?
I do not know.
That is unfortunate. Well,
He was an elf, right?
Half elf.
He was of elven descent, at least partially. If that helps you.
it may. Actually, you may wish to talk to Mishan at the House of the Morning Lord. She is a priest of Aminator. I don't know if your friend followed his elven parents' lineage or maybe his human parents, but either way, the God of the Sun will be more than willing to accept your friend's remains and see them sanctified.
Thank you. Thank you very kindly.
The other temple, in case you are interested in shopping around, is the House of the Triad. You'll see the towers, three 15-foot tall towers. You can't miss it. That is where they worship Ilmater, Torm, and Tyr. All of them are good gods that would be more than willing to help you lay your friend's remains to rest.
Thank you. Very good information. Do you know how much longer we'll be waiting out here?
She sort of looks over to one of her fellow guards who sort of gives like a gesture like right over there, and she's like, "There, any minute. The children of Auril are just exiting the city now. They are a controversial group, and we just don't want to see anybody get hurt or do anything stupid."
I will sort of whisper to Una behind my back, and I will say, "Let's move off the trail. We'll move a bit off so we don't run into them when they come out."
Una just nods, and in your head you hear, "Don't let them see me."
I think I can do this. I think I can also do it in my head, but I don't remember if I can. Yes, I actually can.
You fucking weirdos.
You're just mad because you can't listen in on our secret conversation.
I will whisper back. Agreed. And perhaps you and I should talk.
You can do that?
Indeed.
I can only say indeed.
I can only speak in Pampas.
He can only speak indeed. Would you like an administrative assistant position?
Wow.
Medical billing and coding.
Hey, I did that.
Yeah? Did it suck?
Remove
That was great. I got to listen to audiobooks all fucking day.
That's cool.
Loved it.
So Una is how are you being surreptitiously hidden?
I am sort of taking cover behind Nicolau.
All right, and you're just sort of using your
So
Nicolau is wearing, I don't know if we've gone into this, but Nicolau was wearing like a big blue woolen coat with like he likes to proclaim that it's seal fur lining, and it's pretty big and drapey, so she can easily hide behind that, especially if I try to
and she's got
puff
her
up a little bit.
She's got her winter gear on. She's got the cloak sort of wrapped up, and she's got the Pavu ripped off his blanket and sort of made a shawl for her. So
Yes.
she's got that up and like over her face, so you can really only see.
She's all burked up, ready to go.
Gotcha. And Saya, what are you doing while all this is going on?
Is there an apothecary or alchemist in this town?
You're saying this to the guard?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Checking my notes. Yeah, if it's potions and herbs and elixirs you're looking for, Piona's actually in the market square deals in those types of things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got a little frog in your throat there, huh?
He always does.
I almost wanted to say on goblin, and then
No, I always keep frog snacks on me. That's why I got a frog in my throat. By the way, am I the only one who went to talk with the giantess?
Nope. Kuspilad also did.
Okay, cool.
But he did it in giant because,
Big
flexing.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's a big language for big people.
That's right.
So I guess as Zev returns, she will just remark to the party, "It appears I'm not the only diplomat in town. How close are we to getting in?"
And as a matter of fact, as you say that, the procession of the children of Auril starts to exit, or Real, starts to exit the gate.
Can't have children from Auril.
Shows what you know.
You've been doing it wrong. And with that, Evie stands up and exiting the gate, led by two identical twin. So the procession led by these two identical twin female. They look like half elves, given the somewhat pointed ears and angular features.
If you put them together, you can have an elf and a human.
That's terrific. But they walk through and they're wearing sort of white furred shawls, and they are actually walking hand in hand. And they, as they go, they're swinging like a. It looks like an incense. What is that they swing in church that holds the incense? Censer. Thank you. One of those, but shaped in this 6-pointed star flake configuration, the same as the crucifixion station outside.
Sweet.
They're swinging that, and behind them is just a about 15 to 20 mixed humanoids, humans, half elves, halflings, a dwarf, and there's a full-blooded orc in there. Just the gamut of humanoid races, all wearing a similar pattern, like white coverall. And they exit and they gather around Evite, and Evite stands literally above them, but also seemingly figuratively above them, as she sort of holds some station over them. And as they exit, one of the guards that was sort of walking with the procession hands a note to Augrek Brighthelm, your guard that you've been speaking with, and she reads it, and she sort of addresses you and the few other people that are standing about outside the gate. And she says, "Per order of Speaker Dervessa Shane, in keeping with tradition, the first night of the new moon, the town of Bryn Shander will make a sacrifice to Auril the Frost Maiden. No flame shall be kept for light or warmth within the city walls for 24 hours. The town will not offer the life of any of its citizens in appeasement to the demands made by those who have named themselves the Children of the Frost Maiden." And there's like a tense moment where everybody sort of wants to see the reaction of these Children of the Frost Maiden, particularly Evite, the frost giant, and they sort of gather around, and there's sort of a saddened, defeated look on their face, but they take the news somewhat well and start to filter out down the road, heading in sort of a westerly direction, and they begin speaking to each other in somewhat hushed tones. Particularly these two half-elves, these identical twin half-elves, and Evite seem to be having a conversation. And as they start to walk away, Augrek turns back to you and says, if you all are ready to go in, you promise not to cause any trouble, you'll have a great time in Bryn Shander. If it's a bit of trade you wish to do, the market is straight ahead. That's where you'll find Pionos. If you're craving a warm drink, I recommend Firebeard's Brandy. It's only served at Kelvin's Comfort. And she looks at Anon Ironhelm, your NPC friend, and says something quickly in Dwarvish.
Oh, I speak Dwarvish.
Dwarvish. So you catch that she says, in Dwarvish, she says it's a traditional Dwarvish tavern, to her. And that's located on your right as you enter the market square. If you have any other questions, I'm always here at the South Gate. I'm willing to give you directions anywhere you need to go. Please enjoy your stay at Bryn Shander. And again, I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your companions.
I'm going to grab a piece of leather from my pack,
Okay.
and I'm going to snuff out the flame on my torch with it.
All right.
I will cast Dancing Lights.
That's fine.
That's my catchphrase.
Sai kind of like taps you, Koos, and is like,
24 hours without warmth. That's deadly here. Well,
It can be for those who are unprepared for it, but if you steal your mind and body, you'll be fine.
I don't want him to steal my mind or body.
You'll be allowed to keep them both, trust me.
Okay.
So Ogrek is willing to point you to any place you might want to go as far as shopping or finding a place to stay. In order to keep it a more directed conversation, however, though, I made you a little menu of places you can visit while in Bryn Shander.
Ooh, I'll have a Peona's oils and elixirs and a side of Kelvin's comfort.
I'm having flashbacks to when Ben did the tequila menu for Wild West.
I wish I could remember it.
Whenever I hear the term Bryn Shander, it's something I want to order at a cocktail bar.
It sounds too much like Shandy,
Yeah.
Bryn Shandy. Yeah,
Brandy and Shandy.
brandy. Nothing like lemonade, beer, and brandy. It's like the world's worst.
Keep you really warm.
I'm sure somebody's into it.
Interesting.
It's like a boilermaker. If you're
Where are we
if you
going
suck.
first?
Well, Nicolau will say, I intend to see, Zhao
Yeah,
place somewhere.
I think dropping the body off is
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
right?
I will meet you wherever you want to meet.
Yeah, and the plus
Or
side,
you
it's
may
not going to go
accompany.
bad. You can leave it anywhere.
Yeah.
It'll stay fresh for as long as you
Well,
need
it's going to be freezer proof. We didn't wrap it in
Yeah.
saran wrap. So I will say, trying to get myself back in character, I'm guessing we all have plenty to do here in town. You've mentioned going to Peona's, and I would come with you if you'll have my company.
As you say that again, like Sai starts to look uncomfortable. And is like,
Yeah, we can go there after everything else. I don't, whichever.
I'm going to insight you. Something is wrong. How do you feel about a 15 insight? Is there anything that you would reveal to me with a 15 insight? Your choice. I'm not going to make you.
so you've been traveling with Sai quite a bit, and he's very open and he's definitely hiding something. He did mention that he is on guild business.
Oh.
All right. Would I know about any foreign languages that you speak?
He's
I assume you speak Common and Goblin, and maybe something else.
he said Grofkin, which is a goblin derogatory term. But other than that, just and he's spoken Undercommon with Zev.
Cool. I will say I've been guiding groups of all types for a long time, and I understand discretion.
He just nods.
Are you? So this conversation about what you see about him obviously is more between the two of you, but the conversation about where to head to, are you having that sort of out loud? Would Anon Ironhelm be able to interact with this? Is what I'm getting at.
Probably a party-wide conversation about what to do with the body first, I would think, right? That's our first priority, is dealing with that.
She will.
Nicolau's not subtle. He would have
Yeah.
whispered.
Yeah. She's going to acquiesce to the party's wishes when it comes to what to do with the remains. So.
Well, then Zev would say, you males have those bodies in hand. I have business at the speaker's house. Perhaps at some point we'll meet later. I would be happy to sponsor any trips or expeditions you make, as we will require wealth to stay warm, particularly with fires out.
Best thingy.
And as you say something about males having bodies in hand, even though she's been kind of sort of frightened looking this whole time, you do hear a little bit of a giggle from Una.
Sweet.
I will say...
You're playing your spirit animal.
Hey, creepy teenager? Me?
Yeah, I will say, if you're looking to stay warm with liquor, Kelvin's Comfort is fine, but for my experience, the Northlook Inn is warmer in atmosphere.
Anon will speak up and say, doing the type of work that it seems like you guys want to do, your prospects are going to be at the Northlook. I know that much. My cousin works at Kelvin's Comfort. He runs a fine establishment, but not the adventurers type. More traders.
So I suggest we all conduct whatever business that we have here in town and regroup at the Northlook.
But she does say, wherever you decide to go, the first round's on me.
Oh.
That's
Wow.
Most kind of you, Anon.
Is it like when you're on the bus and they give you 20 quarters for the casino or
They
something?
hand out drink tickets.
Yep.
Or the pull tab? Yeah, they give you the pull tab.
Nice.
You get a Shirley Temple?
Do I get a bendy straw?
No. But they put an umbrella with a maraschino cherry.
Yeah, yes, but it's like a porno one because that's all they have.
Like a bachelorette party.
Got cherries on the nipples.
So it sounds like first stop is the House of the Morning Lord then.
Well, there is one more thing Zev will
Yes.
say. I do suggest we make ourselves useful, lest we become candidates for the sacrifice. Foreigners are often targets of such things. Enjoy your business, everyone.
Fucking barrel
You get a
ass.
bit more of a knowing look from
She says it all with a smile. Like, hey, I come from a place where this is totally cool, and now I'm informing you about it.
I come from a land down under.
I do. She does.
Where wind blowing, wind thunder.
We put the men in a blender.
All right, so Zev is going to the speaker's house. The rest of the party is going to bring the body to the house of the Morning Lord.
Do we all have to? I mean,
You can split the party as many ways as you want. It's just
Can if you wish.
We do know how you love splitting the party.
Yeah.
My only push is I do want to go to Piona's Oils and Elixirs.
I mean, we can go together. I just don't want to go alone.
Yeah, no, let's do that then. So the two of us will go there. You two already have a thing going. Why don't you two take care of the body? You've got business. Pavu's already gone. I think this seems like it makes sense.
Perfect. We'll start from my end of the table, working down. So we're going to go to Piona's first.
Oh boy.
So the first thing, as you have no trouble finding Piona's. By the way, it is tough to tell time in the Everlasting Rhyme, but this is dinner time. We'll say dinner time. Piona's is easy to find because outside of this very narrow storefront is a copper bathtub filled with a multicolor fluid that is constantly swirling, separating, joining. It does have a little bit of luminescence that comes off of it, but mostly because sometimes when some of these colors come in contact and start to mix, there's a bit of a reaction and it bubbles up and fizzes. And that just stands in the sidewalk just outside the front door. Inside of the room is, it's narrower maybe even than this room. The walls are lined with shelves of different color potions, and there's one, a locked glass case where scrolls are sort of labeled and placed in neat rows. And Piona is a druid, a female druid with long hair in 6 separate braids, and she is you see that as you're walking in, she's going around snuffing out all of her candles as well. And she hears the door open. She says, "Oh, I hope you brought your own light. It's hard to read scrolls in the darkness."
I'm outside still.
Okay, you're outside?
Yeah.
I'll go in. I probably won't even notice that you're not following me if that's the case. But I'm sure I've been here before, so she probably would recognize me if I'm a regular customer, yeah?
Sure, if you're a regular customer, she'll... Goosebalot! Oh, it's a pleasure to see you. I'm glad the Everlasting Rhyme hasn't taken you.
It keeps trying, but I keep coming back.
Would you like to talk in the greenhouse? A bit warmer.
That would be wonderful, actually.
All right. She starts climbing up the ladder, and she pops a hatch, and inside of her greenhouse, the air is noticeably warmer. And there is sort of a present, an ever-present light that actually illuminates the space, though clearly from a magical means, because it comes from no place and every place all at the same time. And there's many potted plants, and the moisture sort of clings to the flat surfaces. Not much of a place to sit, but she offers you a clear spot on the floor. And what can I do for you? I'm sorry, the cramped quarters. It's hard not being able to light a candle downstairs.
No, understood. I'm looking for a bit more of those berries, the ones that are toxic for eating.
Yeah. I think I have some more of those in stock. What did I charge you last time?
A couple silver, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. We'll keep the same price, 2 silver, and I can give you a handful. Things are not growing as fast as they used to, I'm afraid.
Understood. And sage.
Sage, not a problem. Much as you need. That'll be 5 copper.
Excellent. I will immediately mark that. I'll make small talk with her for a while. We don't have to RP it all out, but I'm basically here to buy a couple of berries that you're not supposed to eat.
Okay.
Nothing illicit, just,
Manberries.
Probably used for dyes or something like that.
Okay.
And pick up some sage. And I'll make small talk long enough as is polite, and then kind of look for an excuse to get out of the conversation.
The berries that you don't eat are expensive for that very reason. They're normally the kind of things like we get them a lot up here. Those wild blueberries that are toxic, and they usually grow on weeds.
Yep.
People don't grow them on purpose, and there's the berries that aren't eaten don't have a lot of use in. Yeah. He's basically growing them for
I'm
you.
assuming it's basically like a spell component for some
Yes.
spell nobody casts, and probably
Yeah.
looks like hollyberries or something. But
Something along those lines, sure.
yeah, so I'll make Schmooze talk long enough to be polite, and then once it's a normal break in the conversation, I'll kind of excuse myself.
She of course turns the conversation to the sacrifices, and expresses that thank God Duvessa is keeping her wits about her during these trying times. That some of the other towns have already given these monsters what they're looking for.
The spirits call out for recompense, but they're not looking for lives.
Well, that's not what those white-wearing devils would tell you.
I spoke with one outside the gates, the big one.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, just religious types. They always have something to say nice about human sacrifice. They could make even the worst sin sound like it's a holy act.
It does sound like that's their best effort.
Well, anyway, is there anything else I can get for you? Or?
I have a companion with me, and I don't know where they are. They were meant to come in with me, and I think I may have left them out in the snow.
And at that awkward point is when Sai would enter. But he does have a shiny silver badge on him now.
Oh, okay.
In the symbol of... It has like leaves and vines coming up, and it has like a little vial, like a potion. Mm-hmm. And it's... he kind of like walks in, and he's just kind of like...
Hey, Piona, it's me, Sai, and
Would you know Piona, or is this the first time you met her? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know you two knew each other.
yeah, we've known each other for a little time, and
We were almost killed in an avalanche together.
remember that time we almost died? But I'm here on official guild business, as you know.
What can I do for the guild?
Part of the cycle, just it's dues season. And I just need to take a look at your records, and they are requesting their percentage.
Are you an IRS agent?
Are you the mob?
Well,
Is this a protection racket?
it's a union thing, so yeah, basically.
he's a moblin.
Both.
Now, is this a deception check, or do you actually represent the guild in dues collection?
One of my flaws is I owe the guild quite a bit of debt, so they have me collecting for that.
So you're running. That's awesome. Okay, well,
If I need to roll shit,
If I need to roll shit, then
She's like, come back here, we'll roll some shit. That's what the greenhouse is for.
give me a persuasion roll just for
Rumble in the
shit and
jungle.
giggles.
persuasion. Oh, which I am proficient in.
Well, you're a drug dealer. You better.
Hell yeah! That's 24.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I didn't realize it was that time of the month already. Yeah, of course.
shark rules.
Somewhere Una giggles again.
And she produces her ledger, which is, it's sort of like bound papyrus. She grows her own paper.
So
It's hemp.
Everything is hemp, if you're hemp enough. And it just allows you to peruse the books. And she goes to her cash box to start collecting what her normal union dues are.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be. That's on you, and then what I would be responsible for.
2 silver and 5 copper.
If you're a debt collector and they're using coin currency, maybe it's just a promissory note. Mm-hmm. Then you're not just carrying her cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Basically the equivalent of a check. She writes her check for her monthly guild dues.
She probably has holdings in there, like a 401k.
Yeah, yep. Covers her health insurance.
Fucking weirdo.
this isn't my favorite part of being part of this establishment, but
I understand. I just want to stay on the right side of the guild. Allow me to keep working. I need all the work I can get these days.
right, yes.
Can I interest you in anything while you're here?
Oh yeah, you got that special curse.
Follow me deeper into the greenhouse.
Knowing look, smirk from Kuzbalad, turn away.
Times are tough. People need to find joy where they can get it.
Yeah, he needs just to restock on that.
It's been legalized in 10 towns.
Yep.
That reminds me, Sai, before you go, Ronaldo in East Haven was asking around about some of your special mushrooms.
Ronaldo. Which one's that?
He's the one that holds the exorcism twice a month.
Oh, that Ronaldo. Is he in town?
No, he's still in East Haven. He's doing his
Okay, East Haven.
his show. If you ask around there, I'm sure they'll point you to whatever tavern he's operating out of these days. But he needs more of those mushrooms to see his ghosts.
I
Give
can,
the air quotes.
Give me drugs so I can see my friend.
Grandma?
well, thank you. I'll make sure to stop by and see Ronaldo. He's one of my best customers.
All right. Well, it's good seeing you. I suppose same time next month.
Yep.
Okay.
Same bat channel.
Do you guys want to peruse anything that she has for sale on your way out, or are you good?
I'll window shop while they're having their guild conversation. I'm sure I've got a little time to kill while they go over the books.
All right. She has several potions for sale. Oil of slipperiness, potion of animal friendship, potion of climbing, potion of cold resistance, potion of fire breath. By the way, the potion of cold resistance has 2 price tags on it where they've been crossed up and marked up.
Yep.
Potion of fire breath, potion of greater healing, potion of growth, regular potion of healing, potion of hill giant strength, and potion of water breathing. And
Holy
this
shit.
price is listed.
She got a stock for fucking days.
Yep.
What is the cost of the oil of slipperiness?
It's marked at $175.
Cool. Okay.
Depends on how much she likes you.
Yeah. I make a note about it.
She can get slippery with the best of them.
Does it come in like a tube?
It's a big K and Y on the front of it. I don't know what it stands for.
It's a single packet. You gotta crack off the top.
Is that it for Pionis? All right.
Yeah, it sounded like that.
Oh my god.
You're talking about pianos.
Speaking of holy penis, we're going to the House of the Morning Lord next.
I'm not follow that up. So as Nicolau is trudging through the snow, pulling this travois with the corpse of Zhao, and Una is with him, he will look down and loud enough for her, but not loud enough for everybody around, and say, "I get a very weird vibe in this town. I don't know about you. There's talk of human sacrifice, and it just Oof. Are you from here? Are you from around here? Does this make sense to you?"
And Una will say, I'm from Goodmead, and Bryn Shander is not the weirdest you will find in the 10 towns.
Brindine, what did you call it? What was the name of the town?
Goodmead.
Goodmead.
Good meat.
So she's over...
Good mead, not good meat.
Yeah, she's a little south.
So he will ask you where it's from, and you just told him. So, well, then you are familiar with it. This land is totally strange to me, but that is okay. Come, let us deliver our friend, and then we will talk more. Hopefully, we're not too far from this. We're going. Oh, by the way, we're going to the temple of the first one, the Morning Lord.
Yep.
Blustery.
So as you approach the House of the Morning Lord, it is a 2-story church building. You notice all the buildings here have these very severely steeped roofs to keep the snowfall from accumulating. And this one has taken that severe point and made a sort of like a cathedral style front to it. Although it's all sort of the same like dark wood build. And this has a brass emblazoned sun above the front door to be the holy symbol of Almanator. And as you approach the door and open it up, you see that there's in the center of the worship area is like a big brass like fire pit kind of thing that is it's not smoldering, but like it's smoking, like the fire has just been extinguished. And there's rows of pews, and the lone figure on the inside is wearing the vestments of a holy person and going around and making sure all the windows are battened down and closed and trying to keep what warmth is in the building inside. And as soon as you enter, she turns and faces you and sees that you're carrying, sort of precious cargo. And she makes the symbol of Aminator and says, "Oh, this everlasting night has taken another one. Please, I'm so sorry for your loss. How can I help?"